Okay, welcome everybody. We're really excited to have everyone here today. As you know, our theme is Engage and Inspire. And today is a great example of engaging and inspiring the next generation workforce. IREM is excited to present our first and hopefully annual college case competition. There were 3 universities that participated, UNT, UTD, and SMU. A kickoff meeting was held on February 22nd with our case committee, students, faculty advisors, and IREM coaches. The case involved a property located in Dallas with a true challenge. The students were tasked with solving that challenge in the most reasonable and economic method, and I can tell you that determining the winning team was not an easy task. And to anyone who wants to know where the next generation of real estate professionals are coming from, we found them. I can tell you that. Each team presented a compelling case, and they should all be recognized for their hard work and dedication to this project. The teams presented their case to 5 judges on March 1st at Granite Park, and today the winning team will present their case to you after lunch. Also today, we're excited to welcome IREM International President Don Wilkerson, CPM, to our luncheon. Don, would you please join me up here?
Well, good afternoon, or still good morning. Thank you, Deborah, for that wonderful introduction. And it's so neat to be here for such an innovative program. When I heard about this, and Kristen said, "Could you come out?" I was in Washington, D.C., and supposed to kind of hang over a little bit, but I thought, let's make that happen and kind of come out here and be a part of this. So thank you for the invitation. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Don Wilkerson. I'm the 2018 and the 2019 IREM president, which has been an absolute joy. My offices are in Reno, Nevada, and I live, or try to live, at Lake Tahoe, Nevada, which is about 40 minutes away from Reno. So we're having a wonderful snowy year. If you guys got your skis together, bring them on out. My back deck, I looked last night, my back just hurts looking at it. We got another 5 feet of snow at lake level, which means there's another good 8 or 9 feet of snow in the ski resort. So the ski resorts, several were closed yesterday, unfortunately. They're digging out the lifts. So snow's pretty good. So not only am I serving as IREM president, it has been a wonderful honor, but I'm even more proud to be here representing 20,000 leaders in commercial and residential real estate asset and property management. It's a wonderful networking team and a wonderful opportunity that you have to be a part of this organization. In 2019, one of the areas of my leadership team has been focused on is next generation, you guys. The U.S. Department of Labor Statistics estimates that by 2024, so 5 years from now, more than 25,000 new real estate management positions will be added to the economy, bringing the total number of such jobs in the United States to over 340,000 people that call themselves property managers. That's an 8% increase. So these dynamics are set up incredibly competitive landscaping for recruiting and retaining employees, especially when it comes to the next gens. It's more important than ever to not only create company cultures that appeal to the younger generation, but to make sure that high school and college students, like yourselves, not only are aware this profession exists, but have an opportunity to fulfill those vacancies and those opportunities. Some of the key programs that will help us recruit and retain a competitive landscape are our 30 Under 30 program, which celebrates emerging industry leaders that are already making a difference in our industry. We also, our current Diversity and Inclusion Succession Initiative, which recognizes IREM members from underrepresented groups in this profession who have demonstrated leadership skills and who want to advance their careers. And last but not least, our student scholarship programs would help fund IREM education for college students who have committed themselves to a career in real estate management. We want your next generation to choose real estate management as a career and to be your home for education, support, and networking, and that you'll need to thrive in our business. I think the members that are here today can attest to the fact that a career in real estate management is exciting and rewarding. So looking out and seeing the students that are here and engaged in our profession is very encouraging to me. I'd be happy to speak with any of you about the resources available through IREM, and I know the rest of the members in attendance would be as well. Also with me today is Eileen Lynch, who is our young professional chapter sources. Eileen as well if you see Eileen, she's also available to help you. So one of the neat things about having the opportunity to travel around the world, literally, is the opportunity to introduce and swear in new members. Earlier, before the luncheon, I had the opportunity to meet and swear in Blake Marinson. So Blake, would you come on up? And Blake's been in the business for over 10 years. He is currently with Transwestern and has been with them for 2.5 years. Prior to Transwestern, he was with Hines. Blake is currently Vice President and General Manager of CityLine. He graduated from Texas A&M University, so is this enemy turf? No, we're good. We're good, go Aggies. In 2005 and has been married for 2 years. He has 2 dogs, Fiona and Carson, are his only children at the moment. He does have a favorite movie, but enjoys rewatching shows of Breaking Bad. Blake's hobbies include traveling with his wife, food, of course, and wine tastings. He also enjoys golf, running Netflix marathons, and Aggie sports. Congratulations, Blake, on earning your wonderful designation. You got a picture? We'll fake it. Well, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you in a few minutes.
We'll see you in a bit.
That's right. Okay, congratulations, Blaine. That's great. At this time, I'd like to recognize the students and the faculty representing all the colleges. So that'd be UNT, UTD, and SMU. Would you please stand? Thank you. And at the end of the program, we'll hold a drawing for a MacBook Air. This is only open to the students. So if you received a ticket, be sure to put it in the glass bowl at the front desk, and then you must be present to win also. And now I'd like to recognize the judges and the coaches of the case competition. Would you stand? Thank you for your dedication and hard work. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to thank the sponsors because it's important to recognize our gracious sponsors who helped us make this event possible. Please stand as I call your company if you're here as a representative, and stay standing until I finish, please. Title sponsor, Granite Properties. Media sponsor, Gattaca Group. Student engagement, the past presidents of IREM Dallas, and don't be shy, stand up. Scott? Okay, well, you can sit, don't worry. Okay, student academic table sponsors. Well, let me do floral arrangements first, because those are great arrangements on the table, and that's by Natura. Thank you. Okay. Student academic table sponsors, please stand when I call your name. EFI Global. Or not. Okay, Evolution Mechanical. Facilities Solution Group. Guard, Texas. Interstate Restoration of Texas. Kessler Collins. LumaCorp, Inc. Linus Talent Management. Yay, Julie. Prestonwood Landscape. Tritex Construction. And Zenith Roofing. May we have a big round of applause for all of our sponsors. Okay, at this point, it says enjoy your lunch, and we'll be back with the case presentation. Okay, at this time, I'm going to call Professor Julie Lynch to the podium. Professor Lynch wrote the case. She's going to explain the overall process of the case challenge. So I'll turn it over to you, Julie.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to really recognize IREM's leadership for their initiative to create this case competition for college students. As you know, we're wondering who's going to replace us old folks when we retire, and this is a great opportunity to expose students to the wonderful industry of commercial real estate and the career opportunity of property management. So Kristen really was the person who spearheaded this initiative and brought it forth to the chapter as an idea, and you should really receive a big round of applause. So taking off of that, I get a call from Kristen because I've written case competitions for the last 12 years, and she asked me to come and meet with IREM and provide some advisory services for launching off the case competition. And so it was really a collaborative effort with all the IREM committee members and identifying, well, really what is the goal and objective of this case? What is it that we're trying to achieve? And one of the things that the members felt very strongly about was not only providing a case competition for the students, but also providing an opportunity for them to stay engaged in IREM, learn about IREM, and have the support they would need to enter into the industry. So you'll see later this afternoon that big money was awarded to the winning team, but also IREM stood behind their core principle here. You see I've got them up here, and that is they provided each student with an IREM membership. And so students, your IREM memberships are a very powerful resource for you. They have a wonderful career resource page. They also have a membership list of everybody in, I want to say, North America, right? I had the opportunity to sit next to the IREM national president, and we've got some great things going on abroad too, so I'm very excited for our international reach and what's going to be happening. So that first guiding principle was really to provide an educational opportunity for students and at the same time expose them to the property management industry and keep them integrated into IREM. The second part was we wanted them not just to come to the luncheon meetings, but really meet the members and benefit from their experiences and their knowledge base. So when we developed the competition, we decided to add a component of coaching. And you'll see in my next slide, or 2 slides back, we engaged property management professionals to work very closely with each of the teams to help to coach them for the competition. So the last part was, again, the student memberships for the guiding principle to really support that principle. I know that Kristen had a slide with all these individuals listed up here. I really want you to take note who participated in this competition because they invested an inordinate amount of time and energy. And so it wasn't a casual commitment, it was a very big one. And so Ileana McEwen and Christy Clenny, if you could please stand up. These ladies were the driving force, in addition to Kristen and her team, to really make this event successful. The hours and time and energy they put in were relentless. So I want to thank you ladies for everything, and Christy gave us the property to use for the case. So thank you very much. So just a little bit of the outline we came up for the case competition. That first meeting you see on February 2nd, that's when we launched the case competition. It was a Saturday, and we invested 3 hours of time to not only introduce students to what is IREM and the industry of property management, but also we had some team building exercise, remember, with our Kellogg's cereal boxes, and also we had the opportunity to deliver the case and let the students meet with their coaches for the first time and get started on the case. You'll see then for the next 3 weeks, the coaches and the teams got together for a minimum of an hour and a half for the students to be able to get additional guidance and coaching to develop their presentation for the case. And I tell you, we were blown away by the presentations and the solutions that each of the teams came up with. It was such a challenging decision to identify a top winner, but we ultimately did. And so then, following the 3 weeks of coaching, and the students put so much time and effort, and it was very clear to us with the solutions that they developed how much time and energy they had put into the projects. So then the big day came last Thursday, a lot of excitement in the air, and each of the 3 teams, SMU, UNT, and UTD, came to present their solution for the case. And we couldn't wait, because this was a challenging case. I've been in commercial real estate over 30 years, and I passed that case out and I said, good luck with this. This is a hard one. And then today, UNT was our winning team, and they're going to come and present for us. UTD earned 2nd place, and 3rd place was SMU. So congratulations, students. So from our faculty advisors, I'm already hearing Dr. DeCourcy and Dr. Bain tell me that you're coming back, right? Yeah, okay, that's great. And we've already got commitment also from next year for TCU to join us. So we're looking for an expanded participation for next year. Okay, so here's our case, and I want you to challenge yourself after I give you the framework around the case challenge to come up with a solution yourself, okay? So this property is Glen Lakes Medical Plaza. It is surrounded by developments, existing developments off of 75, Highway 75. The challenge with this property is based on the current use of medical office. The parking ratio is very high. It's gone up over the years, and so basically the building has become functionally obsolete because the parking can't support the current use. So at this time, the building can only be 50% occupied with the current parking that's in place. So you hear what I'm saying? The building can only be 50% occupied based on the current parking that's in place. I'm going to let the students really give you the background in terms of, they've done a site analysis, so you can really appreciate just how tight this site is, and understand they had a big challenge ahead of them to figure out where are they going to find additional parking in order to lease the building up 100%. Okay? With that, I think Deborah would like to take the podium. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to work on the case with IREM.
Thank you, Julie. We really appreciate all your assistance with this. Okay, at this point, I'm going to call the winning team by name. College is UNT. By name, if you'll join me up here on the stage. Logan Gregory, Jason Hurd, Renee Looney, Quentin Pichada, Mauricio Robles, and Nicholas Williams.
Hi, everybody. My name's Logan Gregory.
I'm Renee Looney.
Mauricio Robles.
Quentin Pashota.
I'm Nicholas Williams.
And I'm Jason Hurd.
Just want to start off by thanking everybody for giving us the opportunity to show you our proposal on the Glen Lakes Health Plaza located at 9900 North Central Expressway in Dallas, Texas. And the clicker is not working. Oh, now it's on. Now it's on. So briefly, we'll just run through the table of contents and give you an outline of how our presentation is going to flow. We started off by doing a site and property analysis, analyzed the current financial position of the property, studied the market, went through a number of alternatives, ultimately looked at the demographics in the area, put together a marketing plan for our proposal, and then ultimately came up with a course of action being our proposal. So up here on the screen is a survey of the property that we received from the City of Dallas Building Department. If you look at it, it's a rectangle. It's approximately 0.91 acres in size, and it borders right off of the busy Highway 75 and Glen Lakes Drive. Whenever we actually visited the site, we learned that it sloped gradually to the east. One thing that's extremely important about this presentation is how close we are to transit. The nearest DART station is just a 5-minute walk, 0.3 miles away from the building. Right outside the front door is a bus that takes you straight to that DART station. Up here on the slide above us are some photos we took during our initial site visit. If you look at the property, the building, it's 5 stories, it's approximately 50,000 square feet. It's reinforced concrete throughout, concrete columns, concrete floors. It has a brown brick cladding that runs the perimeter of the building, and a glazing window system that's tinted that runs from the 1st floor to the 5th floor, again, all the way around the perimeter of the building. What you cannot see in these photos is that there's a subterranean parking garage directly beneath the building that's about 3 floors. Also on the east side of the building is some surface parking that's designated for visitors. Up here on the screen are just some pictures of the landscaping, which we thought met Dallas's code just at a bare minimum.
Even though our property is a Class B, we consider it to be in poor condition for some of the reasons highlighted in the photos on the screen. You can see there's exterior damage, and this picture in the far corner over here is in the parking garage. Looks like there might be a bit of water damage, so I'm speaking with some property managers out there, so we know the implications of that. Looks like there could be, better outside maintenance, groundskeeping. Inside, some things that might be unappealing to visitors, to our tenants. The first unit you see upon entering this building is apparently being used for storage. That might be a little off-putting, so changing that, might bring new life to the property. Also, more water issues. This is up on the 5th floor. There's water leaking into the inside, so that needs to be fixed. But here is our biggest problem with this property, and it's the reason why we can't get leased up. We do not have enough parking. So I went down to the City Municipal Center, and I obtained the certificates of occupancy. The important part with this is it verifies the individual use of each unit. So some are medical and some are general office. Medical use requires 1 parking space per 200 square feet, and general office requires 1 space per 333 square feet. So verifying each use for each unit, I was able to do a parking analysis, and it came out that we currently need 146 spaces. We're in trouble because we only have 118 there right now. So if every vacant unit was designated as general office use, we would still need 55 additional spots. That leaves us with a total parking deficit of 82 spaces. You visit this property, that cannot be done. So we can't get leased up, so we're not in the best financial position right now. Here's just an example of one of the certificates of occupancy that I obtained. We were provided a rent roll in the case study, but this particular tenant was not included on there. So when we visited the property, we saw that they were there, and we were able to verify the square footage of their lease and their land use. They're included on this rent roll here, as well as 2 tenants that we noted are leaving before the end of the year. So this rent roll helped us determine our revenue that we were going to get. Notice that it's less than the year before because those 2 tenants are leaving. At the bottom, you can see that we've got a net operating loss, pretty substantial. Even though we've got a net operating loss, we do believe that the property could currently be sold for way more than the Dallas Central Appraisal District has its value currently stated at, which is $1.8 million. So I took comparables provided to me by a CoStar report. They're all within 10-mile radiuses, and I adjusted their sales price per square foot by vacancy, their percentage of vacancy, and their size. I took that average adjusted size per square foot and then applied it to the size of our building and came up with a value of over $4.5 million.
Okay, so before doing anything else and moving forward and making like any suggestions to fix this building, the first thing that we wanted to do was to make like a really good market analysis. That way we know what the market is doing right now, what it has done in the past, and kind of predict what it's going to be doing in the future. So the first thing that we found out from the CoStar report was that the average asking price is $24.86 per square foot in this area, and that is for a Class B office building. So we are actually asking an average of $21 per square foot right now. So we are like $4 under the market. So this graph basically shows the absorption and delivery rates in the Dallas-Fort Worth area from 2013 all the way up to 2022, some predictions there. So we can see that back in 2013, is this working? Yes, it is. Back in 2013, we had vacancy rates of 18%. And right now, it's going to be like around 9%. So what we're seeing is that there will be some leases that are going to be ending pretty soon. And all these people will be looking for Class B building office space. So something else to note is that in the Central Expressway area, we have a lot of deliveries coming up in the following years, and the demand is keeping up with those deliveries. Our area is actually going to be at 12% vacancy, and the average in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is going to be 3% higher. So we have demand, and we have the supply coming up for our customers. And just to show some proof, within a 1-mile radius, there are 3 properties being built. That is 165,000 square feet of Class B office space being built, and 67% of that has already been pre-leased. This will not be delivered until 2020. So just to give you like a recap, what we basically found out is that there is a high demand for Class B office space in this building because they're asking a lot of money. So if we fix this building, if we find a solution, we're gonna have a market to work for.
Okay, before we talk about our final proposal, we're going to discuss some of the alternatives that we considered. First off, we wanted to address the parking problem directly by building a parking garage. And then we considered demolishing the building altogether and then constructing a new one. And then remodeling the building for other uses. After we obtained this document from the zoning department, we went through all of the different alternatives or allowed uses. And we've circled there the allowed use that we went with, which is an adult daycare. We use the demographics to back up the demand for an adult daycare. The star in the center is our subject property, and the rings represent a 3-mile and a 5-mile and a 10-mile radius. Again, the star is our subject property, and all of these pins represent other adult daycares in the DFW area. As you can see, there's a giant vacant space in the middle. This shows that in 2019, our population is projected to be 1.4 million people within that 10 miles. Very dense population. And within 3 miles, 74% of those employees will be working white-collar positions. Within those same 3 miles, we can see that, well, this is a little messed up, isn't it? Within those same 3 miles, we can see that 66% of those people were making over $100,000 in that year. And 15% of those were making over $250,000. In 3 miles, we can see that 2/3 of our population were owning a home valued over $300,000, and 16% owned a home valued over $1 million. This slide is our most important slide, because this shows the age and the need for an adult daycare is needed. Within the 3 miles, we can see that a quarter of our population makes up the 55 and up age bracket. In that same 3 miles, 15% of those people make up an age of 65 or older. This comes directly from the National Alzheimer's Association website. Verbatim, it says the greatest known risk factor for increasing age and the majority of people with Alzheimer's is 65 and older.
Okay, so now we had an idea, we knew there was a demand for it, so we took off and started running. We immediately went out and contacted Encore Memory Care. They have 2 other facilities around DFW, and they're just biting at the bit to try to get into Dallas. This one? All right, so then we took the liberty of making a sample letter of intent. They are interested in taking up 10,000 square feet, or approximately an entire floor, and they'll be paying about $26 a foot for that. From there, we also took the liberty of making a sample brochure for them, highlighting their services as well as our building, showing that it could be great for everyone and that some of their clients may be interested in some of the other tenants in our building who also have medical services. Excuse me. Here we've highlighted that these are the rates that Encore charges, starting at $90 a day, and then it slowly increases with the more and more assistance that individuals may need, with special rates for holidays and weekends and nights. Then from here, we just highlighted a couple of quick wins that we can have to really stand out for some of the competition. If you'll notice the photographs, first our leasing sign, it's got a little blade on it, starting to lean a little bit, and that's an easy fix. We can straighten that out and make it really pop there on 75, as well as clean up the area around the dumpster. Additionally, on LoopNet, the leasing is over 2 years old. The pictures weren't so great. It's kind of like, well, who wants to rent that? They don't even care to list it very well. But that's an easy 5-10 minute fix with some fresh pictures. And then from there, as we move on with our process, we can actually get listed on the Lincoln Harris website, since we'll be able to get more tenants in there. Oh, yeah, my bad.
Okay, so we've heard about a pretty serious problem with the property. We've heard a relatively creative solution, I think. And now it's time to talk about our course of action. So I'll just start off by prefacing with the fact that we are planning to totally renovate the 4th floor of this building to be indicative of Encore's adult memory daycare facility. Up here on the screen is a bid letter from a real DFW contractor providing a price of roughly $210,000 to do that renovation work. Up on the screen is the 4th floor concept plan that we created. Is this laser? Okay. So our plan is to really just open up the space, having things such as a member lounge down there at the bottom of the screen where you can have guests just hang out with tables, watch movies, things like that. An auditorium up at the top where maybe we could do karaoke, dancing, things like that. A library in the back left-hand corner of the plan there for quiet time, people that just want to spend time to themselves. An exercise studio next to the windows there looking over the nice Highway 75 where they can maybe do yoga, Pilates, things like that. Designating an office space in the back right-hand corner of the plan there for Encore to continue their operations. And then having a member relations area right outside the front elevators, maybe a little Encore sign hanging up there where new future people can come and talk with leasing agents about what's offered at Encore's memory care facility. Up on the right is a spreadsheet of the construction costs that it would actually take to make this plan work. So we included things in there like interior demolition, knocking out the walls. We made sure to include an abatement cost because the building's built in 1981. We thought that would be something that's definitely apparent. Framing new walls, redoing the ceilings, flooring, painting, just adding a complete makeover to the 4th floor. So you can see that the cost came in just above $209,000. We decided to take 3 unit costs from that $209,000, which are painting, flooring, and acoustical ceiling tiles, and allocating an $8.44 tenant improvement cost to the remaining 12,500 square feet of vacant space on the 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and 5th, which would ultimately increase the aesthetic of the building for future tenants to come in and occupy those other spaces. So that cost came into roughly $105,000, bringing our interior construction costs to just at $314,551. But seeing as parking was such a major issue at this site, we didn't want to just completely overlook it. So we thought we would come up with a plan for that as well. We're planning on adding 14 spots right off of Glen Lakes Drive, just a short walk to the front door of the building, which we think can be marketed as executive parking spaces, reserved spaces that can bring additional revenue to the building, possibly $65 an hour, something like that comparable to the market. Also, which is very crucial to our plan for the adult memory daycare facility, was adding this little turn lane there on the right side of the site, which we think will be extremely important for the demographic that's coming to the building to just get dropped off during the day. Again, up on the right is a breakdown of our costs, including demoing the existing conditions, redoing the dirt work, adding the additional concrete needed, doing landscape to meet the City of Dallas's code, which came to our cost just at $43,000.
Furthering our solution to the parking issue, I went and spoke with the property manager to the adjacent property to the south of us in regards to considering leasing out about 30 spots to us. Also, I spoke with Bobby Rieger at the Municipal Center, and he said that it was very likely that we were going to be able to get a parking variance to reduce our required number of parking spots, just because we're so close to the DART and our new special use.
Now we come to my favorite part of the presentation. How are we going to finance it? I know, y'all gave me a mic to calm down my hands. I'm normally a very animated person. But now we're going to talk about my favorite part. How are we going to finance it, and are we really going to be making more money? Now, the original idea was to rate shop around to different financial institutions, and we were actually working with First United Bank to get a loan on this property. That was until my colleague Nick Williams here did a little more research on the property and found us the deed of trust. In it, our property is one of 20 properties, medical offices, in the state of Texas that are rolled up into what we believe is a REIT. That's a real estate investment trust portfolio. Now, back in December of 2015, Capital One advanced a loan of $407 million with a max aggregate loan amount of $421 million. That'll play into effect a little later on. Capital One not only has the first lien deed of trust on the property, they also have the first lien deed of trust on all assignments of rents and leases. Now, because of that, we knew that no other institution would want to take a second lien loan, so we had to keep the loan in-house with Capital One. Furthermore, Capital One also states that no material changes, remodeling, or demolition can happen to the property without the consent of Capital One. Now, because of how poorly the property is performing, we believe Capital One would go ahead and consent to our changes. Now, how many of you today could go out into this rising rate market and get a loan at 4%? We believe we'd be able to do so, seen here in section 8.11, through right of option. In it, Capital One states that it would loan up to that max aggregate loan amount of $421 million on the same terms as if the loan was advanced back in December of 2015. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, where is this guy getting 4% from? The Wall Street Journal Prime is a predominant pricing structure by most institutions, as well as LIBOR, the London International Bank Offering Rates. Back in December of 2015, Wall Street Journal Prime was 3.5%. We added on an additional 0.5% to factor in risk rate and return. With that, we were able to back in to our pricing amount to figure out what our loan rate was going to be. We added on our additional expense and found out we were only going to be adding an additional $20,000 of interest expense per year. That's less than $2,000 expense per month. With that, we were able to roll into our pro forma, and with our added revenue and expenses, we're expecting to double our cash flow in just 2 years. With that, I've also done on the right-hand side a basic loan covenant testing structure. With it, most financial institutions will require 1.25 to 1.3 debt service coverage. I've done this on an interest-only basis as well as an amortizing basis, just in case Capital One starts to want their money back. So as you can see down at the bottom of the pro forma, you also see I've left out depreciation. The reason is REIT property owners are doing this purposely. In the paper in the Dallas Morning News, they did an article over FFOs. That's the future funds of operations on the true way to value REITs. Now, depreciation acts two ways for REIT owners. One, it acts as a tax shield for most corporations, as well as if REITs have a negative NOI, they do not have to pay investors and shareholders. With that, more money stays in the property owner's pocket, and they get richer. I've also done a loan-to-value property analysis of what most banks will lend out based on the value of the property, as well as a cap rate analysis. We found our average market cap rate of 6.6%, divided it by our cash flow, and we were expecting to double our property value by $2.8 million. Just to recap on everything we've gone over, we started with a medical office property that had an occupancy issue. With that, because of the parking issue that we had, we could not lease up the occupancy of the building. We were able to solve the parking issue by adding in additional parking spaces, leasing out to the property next door, and getting a parking variance. With that, thanks to the letter of intent from Encore, we were able to take our occupancy from 50% to 70% in just 1 year, and then an annualized decrease of 12.5% just to be conservative. With that, we were able to get to our objective occupancy of 95%, if not sooner, thanks to Mauricio's analysis of how there's a demand for it. So on behalf of all of us at Eagle Consulting, we'd like to say thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, UNT. Now, was I right? Was that impressive? Yes. So the students were given as a framework for their presentation the IREM CPM asset plan. And so again, as a part of supporting the IREM experience, we wanted them to see the process they would be going through and analyzing a property for their CPM designation. So, great job. Deborah.
Wow. Did you guys buy the building yet?
We're hoping you would.
I got it. excited to be here. What's really exciting to me is a lot of my colleagues got into this business kind of by chance. I was telling these guys my story earlier about now property and asset management is becoming a career of choice. And it's because of programs like this. I made an offer to these guys earlier, and I've confirmed with our CEO at IREM National. What I'd like to do is invite you to our global summit in San Francisco, September 23rd through the 26th. We'll waive the registration fees. We'll invite you to our big gala dinner. And we'd like you to maybe consider putting on, if not this part of it, at least a portion of this program at the summit, as well as attending all the wonderful education opportunities that we offer there. Let's do it. Well done, absolutely. Now the fun part. You got any money?
Quentin?
What are you giving them?
Jason. Oh, they each get, the first prize winner, winning team was awarded $5,000 to be split amongst the individuals. Right? Yeah. And then we were so impressed with the entire presentation by the other two groups that we decided to award a second and a third. And the second group got $1,800 to split, and the third group received $1,200 to split. Oh, I'm sorry. And the second was UTD, and the third was SMU.
Congratulations. Yeah, the state of the industry is exciting, and with young professional minds like this is as fine a presentation as I've seen. And you're talking about putting together a management plan, and what did you tell me? You did this all within a few weeks? 4 weeks. 3 or 4, I mean, that's just amazing, which is kind of real world. I mean, a client comes to you, they don't give you 6 months to put together a deal, and this is as in-depth as you could possibly offer. I would think that if an owner came to you with this type of an asset management problem and you presented it to them, you'd definitely have a client for life. So well done once again. Thank you.